Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the Wrestling Challenge review series for the 28th of February 1993. We continue our foray into that. We've got almost 200 audios available for your listening pleasure. Wide variety of topics, old school wrestling, new school wrestling, all points in between, a couple of interviews. Wanted to get to interviews later this year, but didn't come together the way that I had planned. In any event, maybe 2022 will be better for that, although I got to execute a move first that who knows when and where that's going to fully come about in the way I need it to. But anyhow, as mentioned, this is the continuation of the Wrestling Challenge series. Again, the late February is Wrestlemania season, back when Mania actually meant something. Hasn't meant something probably for at least about 8 or 10 years now, in all honesty. But anyway, getting ready for Wrestlemania 9, and we kind of go into that. There is a decent run of build for Yokozuna as the world champion, as one would imagine there to be. Yokozuna, of course, the first heel champion in quite a while. Last heel champion before that was, Randy Savage, WrestleMania 5. So been a few years since, the idea of a heel champion is or was a major force in the WWF at the time. And, they're also doing lots of build-up, as we'll see in the coming weeks, with him taking out other individuals, including but not limited to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, on the road to Bret Hart here in 1993. This particular edition of the program is more about build than anything else, as is the next several runs there. And ultimately, that ends up being, I guess I'd say, more a good thing than not, as it were, for this time period. Anyway, as mentioned, we kind of move forward to the 228 edition here. Includes Wrestlemania 9 report featuring footage from Monday Night Raw of the unveiling of the Mega Maniacs, aka Hulk Hogan, and Brutus Beefcake and Jimmy Hart, including Vince McMahon speaking on the phone with retired police chief Jim Duggan's father, who encouraged his son to return to the ring, calling the attack Duggan sustained from Yokozuna. Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels against Bob Young, defeating him, slides through the ropes, 2 super kicks, and Sensational Sherry cuts an insert promo saying Michaels is not man enough to be the Intercontinental Champion, even though he has been for several weeks/months at this particular point and juncture. So kind of a goofy thing for her to say, but hey, baby faces at the time don't have to make a heck of a lot of sense in order to be impactful. Anyway, so we kind of move forward there, and, Michaels does take the man to the outside before doing that double super kick job. Of course, the super kick does become his major move there. Mr. Fuji, preparing Yokozuna, says he's taken out Jim Duggan, going to take out Bret Hart, has taken out many other people with the Banzai Splash. Yokozuna says, Yosh, and off we go. Giant Gonzalez promises to destroy The Undertaker, and I think he does, obviously having Taker's worst WrestleMania match of all time. The Bushwhackers are here in 1993. Bushwhackers in an enhancement match, as they are wont to be at the time, and managing to do what they can, where they can there. The adversaries, as it were, continue to be, let's see here, the team of Casey Cleric and the Intruder 348. Luke pins Intruder following a battering ram. Punches, kicks, very basic maneuvers. Obviously, the Bushwhackers are not known for being technical masters. That doesn't change here. But, they hit a couple of battering rams and other deals. The intruder a masked individual, and the battering ram, ultimately the headbutt, is the victory for the Bushwhackers. Mr. Perfect Kurt Henning has returned to the area and has, since the Survivor Series 1992, still a baby face here. Interesting that he takes the Lloyds of London policy in 91, gets, I guess, bought out in 93, and then manages to come back. Anyway, Henning punches, kicks, standing drop kick, and ultimately leads to chop over the top rope, daring Lex Luger to come after him. Luger and Henning never really hit well as a match on the house shows. Gary Key is the opponent of the day. Inverted neck snap and the perfect plex. Obviously a one-sided affair for Henning in this particular juncture. And Henning snaps him over, gets pretty assertive aggressive, as it were, there. Mr. Machismo, a.k.a. Razor Ramon, and Lex Luger are teaming up. They are teaming up in upcoming house shows at the Garden against the tandem of Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart. Still going with Hall versus Hart as the, I don't know that it's a main program, but a main program going forward. And then we go to the Steiner Brothers, talking about the Money Incorporated team coming up the 21st of March at Madison Square Garden. Again, they're running the Garden about every 4 to 5 weeks at the time period. Miss those days. Scott Bezo and Alan Reid against the Head Shrinkers here. Afa alongside his team, and Samu hits a pretty strong body slam. They hit the double Russian leg forward, falling Russian leg sweep, and the Head Shrinkers are in solid control. Side leg kick on one of the enhancement talents, and ultimately a victory for the Head Shrinkers after a top rope splash. Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake and Jimmy Hart from Raw. We won't cover that here because the interview is a Raw concept, but the idea of the Mega Maniacs, Hogan and Beefcake and Jimmy Hart, together as a trio. Hart, of course, the manager of the bunch, is a pretty big thing here. Kamala's babyface turn returns to prominence here as well. Reverend Slick alongside Kamala, and obviously Kamala finishing up with the WWF sometime in 1993. Does a good bit of babyface run. Ed Moretti, who's known as being a major force in the Pacific Northwest alongside Buddy Wayne among others, is the enhancement talent here. We kind of see Kamala hit a couple of leapfrogs, chops, and the big splash, doing the backward turnover. Then we go to a event center where they're hyping the idea of Monday Night Raw being a big deal. Also, Doink and Macho Man Randy Savage scheduled for the upcoming Madison Square Garden card, as it were, and Doink basically says, who is the man behind the Macho Man's mask? Ironic, because it's Doink that paints his face. We will come back with more right after this.